when I was child. You know,
我最
I
喜欢
even love to watch movies, Indian movies.
我最喜欢印第安人的那个故事。
谢谢 Selina， 主啊，请你怜悯我。
谢谢 Selina 阿
Chinese
姨。
English.
Something mercy.
Yeah.
No, she's saying something. English.
No, you have to speak English.
I know, but what is she trying to say? Oh Lord, be merciful to me.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, 现在
Sorry.
我们每一天都需要神给我们的怜悯。
Daily we need God's mercy.
刚刚曹长老讲的那两样事情，也是我小的时候最害怕的两件事情。
Just now, Elder Eric mentioned two things that he's afraid of. Those are the exact two things that I'm afraid of too.
但是当我大学毕业之后，神真的把我摆在不同的地方，每一天需要我能够跟他在一起。
But after I graduated from college, God put me in different positions so that I have to completely depend on Him.
那个时候我挣扎，到底要不要读传道，做一个牧师。
I was struggling whether I should go into the ministry or not,
后来我没有。
but I gave that up.
师母说，她这一生3种人不要嫁的。
My wife told me that she has decided that there are 3 people that she won't marry in her
第一
life.
个，她不要嫁给做牧师的人；
First, she will never marry a pastor.
第二个，她不要嫁给做行政人员；
And second, she won't marry an administrator.
第三个，她不要嫁给一个读 business 的、读商的人。
And third, she won't marry a businessman.
当你说不要的时候，上帝偏偏要把这3样东西给我的太太。
When she said no, the Lord deliberately gave her these 3 things.
我们没有办法看到以后的事情是什么样，特别是在结婚的时候。
We can't see what our path is like, especially at the time when we get married.
当这3样事情都在我身上的时候，师母说她没有其他的选择了。It's too late.
So when all 3 of these things are in me, and then she said, I have no choice.
同样的，当上帝把我们摆在某样的工作上面，我们从来不会去想到要做这些事情的时候，上帝有他美好的旨意。
Likewise, when God gives us a job, and that job we have never wanted it, He has a plan.
求神怜悯我们，当我们说不的时候，神可能把我们摆在合适的地点，要我们做合适的事情。
Oh God, be merciful to me. When we say no, God will put us in a place for His glory.
昨天晚上我们在谈的时候，曹长老说，我的工作只要募到100万之后，我就放下工作了。
Last night, Elder Eric told me my job will finish when we have $1 million.
我说不哈，
I
上
said
帝要
no.
你募到足够的时候才可以休息。
I said, no, God will let you rest when we have enough money.
上帝也把我摆在募款的工作，我在学校的时候也都是从事募款的工作。
God also gave me this job of fundraising. When I was in school, working with the school, I was also involved in that.
有一次去募款的时候，有一个家长那一天就拿给我30万台币，他的年终奖金。
One day, a parent brought me $300,000 of Taiwanese dollar. That is his bonus.
然后他跟我说：“不好意思，牧师，今年的年终奖金少了一点，希望明年多一点再捐给你们学校。”
And then he told me, I'm sorry, this bonus is a little small this year. Next year, I'm hoping that they'll give me more bonus.
哦，我感谢主，神只是把我们当做他的一个管家。
I'm glad that God has treated us as His steward.
有一班我们的弟兄姐妹，特别是我们祷告团队，他们在祷告的时候怎么说？
When our prayer team pray for us, how do you think they pray?
有钱的出钱，
Those who have money give money.
特别是那一些有钱的，能够把他们的口袋打开出来，然后捐给上帝的工作。
Especially those who are rich, who have money, please open your pocket and give and donate.
我们相信神会赐福这一所教会，让我们的目标可以达成。
I know that the Lord will bless this church so that we can reach our goal.
上个礼拜我到San Diego 教堂去讲道的时候，
Last week I went to San Diego Church to preach.
那一天他们把我摆在旅馆的地方。
They put me up in a hotel.
当我进到旅馆要 check in 的时候，
When I went in and registered,
这个 counter 的那个小姐就给我房间的钥匙。
the receptionist gave me a key to my
我
room.
看了一下，哇哦，
I looked,
444。
444.
对中国人来讲，4个4不得了，一个4都不得了了，10。
Wow, for Chinese, that's definitely no good. Even number 4 is no good.
我想一想，还是留下来吧。一般的人会退回去，我不要这个号码。
Well, perhaps for most Chinese, they'll say, I don't want this room, but I thought to myself, well, I'll just take it.
我马上有3个信息进到我的脑海里面。
But there are messages that came to my mind.
第一个是上帝的恩典是够我们的用的。
The first is God's grace is sufficient for me.
是那个是，不是那个死的是。上帝的恩典每一天够我们用。
什么是跟是啊？
同音的是同音啊。
但是是什么意思呢？
is 是我够我们用。
Okay, 4 means to die in Chinese, so that's not good. But the same, exact same pronunciation is is.
Yes.
Right? So I'm thinking God's grace is sufficient for me.
第二个我看到的，耶稣或者上帝就是爱。
The second one I think of is that God is love.
神给我们太多的爱，在新的一年开始，让我们在神的家里面可以充满神的爱。
God truly gave us a lot of love, and we can experience that in God's family.
第三个是上帝的救恩是为你为我的。
The third is that God's salvation is for you and for
你
me.
有没有想到神的救恩是白白给你也给我？
Did you know that salvation is free for you and for me?
虽然有一天我们可能会经过死亡的阶段，
Even though we will die one day,
但是让我们看到神的救恩、神的恩典、神的爱够我们用。
but you can experience Him. You will see that His grace is sufficient for you.
今天要跟大家分享第三个一粒种子。
I will share with you the third one. It's one seed.
请问这个苹果里面有多少的种子？
Let me ask you, how many seeds is in this apple?
你知道吗？
Do you know?
连我都不知道，你们怎么会知道？
Even I don't know. How come you know?
只有一个方法知道怎么样，
There's only one way
把
to
它
find
切
out.
开里面，再数
Open
算
it
几
and
个
count it.
种子在里面。
Count how many seeds is in there.
你有没有想到，这个苹果如果把种子拿出来以后种，可以长多少苹果吗？
Now, have you thought of this? When you take all the seeds out and planted them, how many apples will they produce?
没有人知道，
Nobody knows.
它是一代一代的传下去。
From one generation to the next, it keeps going.
从自然界里面，我们可以学到一个启示：
From nature, we can learn one thing.
当这个种子落到地里面种的时候，将来生出来是许许多多的更丰盛的生命。
When the seed is planted, buried in the soil and grow, then it will grow to even more abundant life.
如果这个种子不放在土里面的时候，这个苹果可能过不久 ，even though it's organic 哈，一段时间也会坏掉，对不对？
如果不把它的种 If we don't plant the seed, and even if it's organic, it will probably be rotten very soon.
这些种子只有经过死亡之后，才会长出更多的生命在它里面。
Only when the seed go through the process of death will it become life.
以色列人的主要的食物是大麦跟小麦。
The main diet of the Jews are barley and wheat.
所以耶稣基督选择了一种他们最熟悉的东西——小麦，作为一个比喻。
So Jesus has chosen a very familiar topic to teach them.
他告诉他的门徒，今天的章节，一粒麦子落不落在地里死了，人就是一粒。
He told his disciples, unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone.
若是死了，就生出许多的子粒出来。
But if it dies, it produces much grain.
今天为 Andy 打电话给我，什么叫做子粒？
Today Andy called me, asked me what is a grain.
他说他问了我们的首席长老 Daniel， 他说我也不晓得，因为我不是农夫。
So she called and asked Daniel, and Daniel said, "How do I know? I'm not a farmer."
我们不必当农夫才知道什么叫做子粒。
We don't need to be a farmer to understand grain.
子粒就是从一粒之后生出了很多很多很多的，叫做子粒。
Grain is something that is from the wheat, and it keep growing.
如果一粒麦子不落在地里面，有可能怎么样？它会被虫蛀，会被虫咬，或者是烂掉。
If a grain of seeds is not planted, what happened? It could be eaten by moth. It could be rotten.
或者是永远是一粒而已。
It will always be one.
最近我看到一个报道他们从埃及的木乃伊的那一些坟墓里面挖出来，里面有种子在里面。
Well, they have dug out some mummies from Egypt, and in his pocket there is a seed.
当他们发现原来已经3000年还是那一粒种子在里面。
3,000 years, that seed is still just one seed.
当他们把它放在土里面，竟然3000年之后，这个还可以长出来。
And after 3,000 years in the mummies, they planted that seed, and it still grows.
第一个条件，必须有人把它取出来，把它放在地里面，落在地里面，让它死了以后才重新长出来。
So the first challenge is to bury that seed and let it die so that it will grow.
到底麦子是指什么？
So what is wheat?
当耶稣自己把自己比喻成一粒麦子的时候，
When Jesus say a grain of wheat,
让我们看到23节的地方，他说他得荣耀的时候已经到了。
well, he likened himself as a grain of wheat. And in verse 23, he said that the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified.
当耶稣要得荣耀之前，他怎么说？神啊，让这个苦杯离开我。
Before Jesus was glorified, what did he told his father? He said, Lord, take this cup away from
他
me.
希望这个苦杯不必在他的身上。
He doesn't want this cup to be on him.
最后他怎么说？我就是为这个而来的。耶稣愿意承担所有世人在他身上所犯的罪。
But then what did he say after that? He say, I came for this, and he's willing to take on the sin of all the sinners.
所以我们每一次提到麦子的时候，我们想到耶稣基督的牺牲，
So every time when I think of wheat, I think of the sacrifice of
也看
Christ
到耶稣基督的复活，
and his resurrection.
更看到耶稣基督救赎的大功，他可以最后得到荣耀。
And I see the great work of his salvation, and then he was glorified in the end.
所以每一次我们看到这一章节的时候，我们会想到我们的牺牲、我们的奉献、我们的付出。
So when I read this passage, I think of our sacrifice, our offering.
当我们看到耶稣基督的救赎，也看到耶稣的大爱，也看到他愿意顺服上帝的旨意。
When I see Jesus' salvation, I see his love, especially his obedience.
所以今天我们看到从这个章节里面，我们可以学到3样东西。
So from this text, we can learn 3 things.
第一个，麦子要落到地里面，
First, a grain of wheat has to be buried in the ground.
那就是舍己的生命。
That is to give up its own life.
耶稣不单将自己比喻成一粒麦子，
Jesus did not just liken himself
更
to a
重
grain
要
of
的
wheat.
他也把你当成那一粒麦子。
He also likened you as a grain of seed.
你记得他讲的比喻吗？
Do you know
他用2
his
种不同的
parables?
来比喻，一种是麦子，一种是稗子。
It's a parable of the tares and the wheat.
那些麦子是跟随耶稣基督的人，
The wheat is those who follow Jesus.
那些稗子的是不跟从耶稣、跟从撒旦的人。
The tares are the pretender who actually followed the
到
devil.
最后收割的时候，会把这2等不同的人分开。
At harvest time, he will separate the two.
当耶稣说我们是麦子的时候，不只是一粒麦子而已。
When Jesus say that we are wheat, he's not saying just one grain of wheat.
它有很大的含义在里面。
Now, there is a lot of meaning in this.
当这个麦子愿意接受主人把它放在地里面的时候，长出来的时候， 可以成就很大的工作。
When this wheat is willing to be buried by his master, he can work out a much greater work.
它可以让人吃面粉的时候，用面粉来做面包的时候，我们可以吃得饱足。
Now it can be processed and become flours and can fill our stomachs.
基督徒也是一样的，当我们生命改变，愿意让神使用的时候，我们可以改造自己之后，帮助其他的人，也是在生命上的改变。
It's like as Christians, when we allow God to change our lives, we can be a blessing to others too.
这里所说的 A seed 一粒，不单单只是讲一，而且是指种子，在希腊文说种子的意思。
When it say a grain of seed, that one A is not just a unit of A as one, but also it has the meaning of a seed.
什么是落在地里面的呢？
What does it mean falls to the
当我们
ground?
落在地里面，表示什么样？要死亡，要灭亡的意思。
When you say falls to the ground, it means it has a connotation of death.
当我们埋的意思，就是用土把我们埋在里面，隐蔽在里面，看不到自己。
When you say buried in the soil, it's completely covered and be inside.
我们当学生的经验大家都有，对不对？我们常常说一个学生读书读得很认真，在看书什么都不理，叫做什么？
We've all been students. When a students really study hard and study,
埋首什么？苦读，对不对？
And you-
希望有一天能够读成功。
and you call that he buried himself in the books, right?
如果一个人做事很认真的时候，我们叫他什么？
Now,
埋头苦干，对不对？嘿。
what about if someone worked really, really hard? You say that he buried himself in his work.
牛顿在做实验的时候太投入的时候，他为着要煮鸡蛋，忘记把手表当作鸡蛋放在水里面去煮。
Newton was doing his research very, very focused, and he took his watch and he thought it's an egg.
有
And
一
he cooked
次
it.
我在准备讲章的时候，很专心在准备的时候，把手机当作滑鼠在那里摇啊。
One time I really concentrate on my work, and I took the cell phone and I thought it was a mouse, and I keep using it.
摇来摇去，为什么电脑不动？嘿，
I keep using it. How come it doesn't move?
因为我太专心在某样事情。
Because I'm very focused on my work.
同样的，上帝也要我们把它埋起来，专心把自己的生命献上，做神要我们做的工作。
Same way, God wants us to be buried and very focused on the work that He has given
你
us.
知道这位传道人戴德生牧师，
Do you know Hudson Taylor?
他是一位英国的一个年轻的传道人，为着中国的心，他来到中国的地方。
He was a young British missionary worker, and for the love of China, he left his hometown and went to China.
他来中国刚好是清朝末年、民国初年的时候。
When he arrived, it was at the end of the Qing dynasty, and the Republic China is just starting to build.
他来的时候，后来他的女儿也死在中国。8岁的时候，他的女儿过世了。
And his 8-year-old daughter died there.
他来的时候也穿上中国的服装，留上中国的那种马尾巴，适合中国人的口味。
When he came, he dressed exactly like a Chinese, and he wear his hair just like those Qing dynasty people.
他在中国工作了几十年，每一次回英国，不是要回去享受英国的环境生活。
He worked in China for a few decades. Every time he went back to England, it wasn't because he escaped from the hard work and wants some comfortable
他每一
life.
次回去就是去找人去募款，然后把钱带到中国的地方，继续传福音的工作。
But when he went back to England, he was asking more young people to come for missionary works, and he was fundraising for his work.
当他年老的时候，他坚持他那一粒麦子要永远葬身在中国的地方。
He insists that when he died, he wants his seed to be buried in the soil of China.
我喜欢分享他的一段话，这样说：
I like to share with you a quote.
假
from him.
使我有1000磅的金钱，
If I had 1,000 pounds,
中国可以全数的支起。
China should have it.
假使我有1000条的生命，
If I had 1,000 lives,
绝不留一条不给中国。
China should have them.
你看一个外国人对中国的心，对不对？完全的投入金钱、生命，完全奉献给中国。
Look at this passion of a foreigner, that his money and his life, he want to completely sacrifice it for China.
最后他补充说：“不，我有1000条的生命，我要完全给耶稣基督。”
Later he say, no, not China, but Christ.
不简单，对不对？不是只有为中国人，整个生命，我们是为耶稣基督而活。
That's really something, isn't it? It's not just China. He completely surrendered his life to
我
God.
们看到整个基督教的历史，有多少人为耶稣基督的缘故，牺牲他们的生命，埋在地里面，为神的工作复兴他的工作。
If you look back on the Christian history, you can see so many of them that sacrifice their life for Christ, and they're willing to bury it themselves for Christ.
有人认为，一粒种子埋在地里或者死了，是传道人的工作。
Some will think that to die for Christ, to be buried in the soil, is the responsibility of a pastor.
传道人的义务跟我有什么关系呢？
It's your responsibility. What does that have to do with me?
假使今天有更多的基督徒来像这样的一个思想的话，
If every Christian thinks that way,
神的工作就不能继续的推展下去。
God's work will not go forward.
因此，耶稣基督说：“这一粒麦子就是指你，也指我，在他的工作上面。”
So when Jesus said a grain of wheat is talking about you and me.
今天有很多的基督徒多么渴望能够得到神给他的祝福，
Many Christians want to have Jesus' blessings,
却不愿意为耶稣基督付出应该付的代价。
but do not want to be responsible for the work of God.
假设你有一部车子，
If you have a car,
这部车子不能动，放在你的 garage 里面、车库里面，
it cannot run, but it sits in your garage.
不能开到马路上。
It will not move.
不错，我们还是叫它做车子。
It's true, you still can call it a car.
假设你们在家里有一部电视 LCD 的大荧幕，但是不能看，有什么用呢？
If you have a big screen TV, but if it doesn't work, what good is it
同
for?
样的，作为一一个基督徒，我们
Same way.
是否也愿意把我们自己放在神的手里面，落下埋葬起来？
Same way, as a Christian, are you willing to be in God's hand and be buried so that He can use you?
你有没有知道有什么东西可以阻碍这些种子发展的、生长的东西吗？
Do you know of something that can prevent this wheat from producing grain?
我这里有一些黄豆，
I have some soybean
如
here.
果我一直把它放在这里，仍然叫黄豆，对不对？
I keep them in a bag. It's still called soybeans.
可能到我退休里面后，还是那么多粒的。
Even when at the time when I retire, there will still be so many soybeans.
假设我把它放在土里面之后，你看会不会长出来？
But if I put it in some water, what do you think? It will grow?
虽然它的外壳那么坚硬，
Even though its shell is hard.
当它落在地里面，经过化学作用、光合作用、温度等等，它破开之后，它会长出新的生命出来。
But when we put it in the soil, after chemical reactions, pressure, and photosynthesis, stuff like that, it will germinate.
对于基督徒，我们有没有什么外壳阻碍我们生长的地方？
What is preventing us as Christian to grow?
当我在思想这个题目的时候，有很多的事情把我们阻塞了，让我们的种子发不出来。
When I'm preparing this sermon, I think of many things that prevented us from growing, like the chaff preventing a grain of wheat to grow.
第一个我想到的，可能我们个人有骄傲的心。
The first thing I can think of is pride.
当我们骄傲的时候，神的话语进不到我们每一个的心里面。
When we're prideful, the word of God cannot come into our hearts.
当我们骄傲的时候，我们会看其他的人不顺眼，
When we are prideful, we become critical of other
或
people.
者看其他的人所做的事情都不对，没有比我能干。
And we tend to be critical of others' work, and you're not even as good as me.
第二个我看到的嫉妒 也会阻碍我们生命的生长。
The second one I can think of is jealousy.
有时候我们很容易嫉妒人，包括在家里面，哥哥弟弟会互相的嫉妒。
Jealousy is very common, sometimes even among the siblings.
在教会里面，我们有时候也会嫉妒，有这种嫉妒的心在里面。
Sometimes even in church, we treasure that thought of jealousy in our heart.
哇，他能唱，他能说，他能讲，什么都比我好，为什么我不如人家？
She can sing and she can speak well. How come I'm not as good?
他的家比我有钱，什么都比我好，开始会产生不满、嫉妒的心。
He's richer than me. Everything seems to be better. Slowly, we cultivate that sense of jealousy.
第三个，我们看到的是贪图虚荣的权势。
And the third thing I can think of is when we covered power and prestige.
有时候在教会里面，不要以为小小的团体里面有一些人也是会争权夺利。
Even though a church family may be a small one, but don't be mistaken, people in there would still be fighting for that, for prestige and power.
特别在亚洲的地方，我可以看到有一些人是终身做长老，一下台已经不舒服了。
Especially in Asia, I see that some people are elders for life.
喜欢有名位、地位在教会当中。
Those people love to be looked up to.
但是今天耶稣基督教导我们，怎么样把这个壳可以打破。
But Jesus told us today how that chaff can be broken.
成为一个有效率的基督徒。
We can be an effective
怎么样
Christian.
可以落在地里面死了呢？
How can we die when we're buried in the
我们
ground?
看看耶稣基督的榜样，他怎么说？腓立比书2章6到8节，他说：“反倒希举，存心顺服，以至于死，且死在十字架上。”
Let's see how Jesus show us by his example. He humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even the death of the cross.
我喜欢保罗给我们的劝勉，他说：“我已经与基督同定十字架。”
I like what Paul said, I have been crucified with Christ.
现在活着的不再是我，乃是基督在我里面活着。
The life that I now live is not mine, but Christ who lives in me.
生命的改变，让耶稣基督的十字架改变我们的生命。
Christ's cross changed our life.
圣灵每一天在我们的心里动工。
The Holy Spirit is working in our hearts every day.
第二点，我看到的麦子要结这个果子，它的生命可以延续传承下去。
The second point I can see is that the wheat has to bear crops, and this life can, so that this life can keep going.
麦子不是为埋葬而埋葬，或者是为死亡而死亡。
A wheat to be buried. To bury a wheat is not just for being buried, and it's die not just for so that it dies.
最重要的，麦子要做什么？要结果。
But more importantly, wheat has to produce grains.
如果是人在我的袋子里面，几年以后仍然是这一对。
These beans will continue to stay like this in my bag
当我们
forever.
把它放在地里面，你可以看到它的结果就是真的长出果子出来。
But when we plant these seeds, they will grow.
耶稣基督曾经讲过比喻，撒种的比喻。
Jesus has parabled of sowing seeds.
他提到4种不同的状况，有一些种子是落在路旁边的，被鸟吃掉了。
He talked of 4 conditions. Some seeds fall on the wayside and the birds eat the seeds.
有一些是在前途的当中，然后太阳来就把它晒死了。
Some in shallow soil, and when the sun came out, they dried up.
第三个是落在荆棘里面，被荆棘把它挤死了。
And some fell among thorns, and the thorns choked them.
第4种是落在好土里面，然后生长。圣经告诉我们，可以长30倍、60倍、100倍。
But those who fell on good grounds will bear fruit, harvest of 30, 60, of 100, and of 100 folds.
我常常在想，到底我们的生命长出了多少倍出来？
So sometimes I think, oh, my life, how many folds have multiplied?
我们家的院子那个土真的是 clay， 每一次看到土都是粘土粘得紧紧的。
In my backyard, the soil is just like clay; it stick to each other.
师母唯一的愿望是要改变土地。
My wife's only desire is to change those soil.
前年我们 avocado 长一长，长出来只有4粒。
Last year, avocado tree has 4 avocados.
奇怪，我们用了那么多的功夫长4粒。
What happened? We put in so much time and effort, only 4?
7年长了13粒。
Last year, 13.
加了4倍，我们高兴的要命了。这一朵长出来了，而且长得又大。
4 folds harvest, and it's huge.
你可以看到，当我们的生命里面如果是维持不长或者长得少的时候，心里会怎么想？
So if our life it doesn't grow, our Christian life, if it doesn't grow or grows only a little bit, how would we feel?
上帝不是只有给我们3倍4倍他的应许，如果我们愿意落在神的手里面，落在地里面长出来，会30、60、100倍。
God's promise is not just 3-4 folds of harvest, but 30, 60, and 100 folds.
小的时候我是农夫，我的爸爸做农的。
I was a farmer when I was
我们
young.
家里种过小麦。
We have planted barley.
有一年种了以后，收割时候把麦子放在潮湿的地方。
One year we planted some barley and then we put the rest in put it up.
准备第2年再种的时候，发现所有的那些小麦的芽都被虫蛀光了。
We were going to plant that next year, but next year we saw that it was all eaten by worms.
我们要每一天求神帮助我们，把我们摆在合适的地方，能够长出合适的果子。
Let us ask God each day to put it in the right soil so that the crops can grow.
有时候我们也不喜欢上帝给我们的安排。
Sometimes we don't like God's guidance.
你可以看到有一些弟兄姐妹在一个地方服侍。跑来跑去，一下子跑到这个教会，一下子跑到那个教会，没有一个固定的点，让他可以继续为神工作。
Sometimes you see some brothers and sisters, they go to one church and then they hop to another. They don't stay in one place.
如果今天你种一棵树，今天种在这里，过2天又把它移到那里，过2天再把它移到那里，我包死。
So if you think about this, one seed, you plant this here in this soil, 1 and 2 days later, you plant it some other place and some other soil, and then again, keep moving this, I guarantee you it will die.
前几天我把一棵 plum 树呢，从这一边移到另外一边，我挖深一点，放更多的肥料。
A few days ago, I replanted a plum trees. I dig it very deep so that I can put in more good soil in it.
我很担心，真的，我跟师母讲说，我来尝试要包火的。
I told my wife, I'm really worried. I want it to be alive.
过2天，这几天看到开花，叶子也出来，哇，好高兴，真的活了。
I was so happy when I see that there are new leaves and flowers coming out.
当我们侍奉神的时候，到处乱跑，这里一堆，那里一堆，没有一个根为他工作的时候，久了之后，可能我们会像树一样的慢慢凋谢下来。
If we serve God one day on this here and then the next day and the next day different places and we do not have roots, very soon it will be like a trees that have no roots and will wither.
当我去看希腊文的时候，他解释结出果子的结出是一个未完成式的，就是一个未完成的是不断的会结出来，不是停在一个地方的。
In Greek, that word produce, it's not just a produce one-time thing, but it has a connotation of keeping going.
而且他说许多的果子，希腊文意思就是很活泼的，不断的生长，很茂盛的，不断的生长。
And it say that it has much grain. It meant a very abundant and a lively life.
所以耶稣基督说，你们要结出许多的果子，代表怎么样？种植也重量的生长。
So when God say much grain, he's talking not just quantity, but also the quality of the harvest.
这个子粒也有后裔后代的意思。
That seed also implies descendants.
当我想到戴德生这一生所做的工作，不但救了多少中国国内的人成为基督徒，
When I think of the work of Hudson Taylor, of how many Chinese have accepted Christ because of him,
他不但在外面结出果子，他的家人也结出了果子。
not only did he bear fruits, but his family members also.
他的第5代的孙子、曾孙仍然在为中国在服侍。
Five of his generations, even up to great-grandchild, is still working in China.
不简单，对不对？很多传道人的孩子到第2代就没有了。
It really isn't. It's something because many missionaries and pastors, it will only go to second generation and then it will die off.
因为孩子看到父亲的工作好辛苦，
Because the children saw how hard the fathers work.
过几年就被搬到另外一个地方去。
It keep being moved.
但是这里告诉我们说，这位戴德生牧师，他影响着他的下一代、下代，继续为神来服侍。
But when I read about Hudson Taylor's life, he inspired his descendants to the 5th generation.
当神要用我们的时候，我们看到摩西的经验。
When God used us, I can think of Moses' experience.
摩西这位在埃及的皇宫里面受了40年的教育，
He was trained for 40 years in the palace in
他应该
Egypt.
是很骄傲，功名利禄什么都有。
He must be really proud. He has everything.
他用自己的能力把他的埃及的一个人打死了。
He even kills an Egyptian.
最后，他必须来到旷野的当中，神教导他，让他亲自体会到神用他的这种经验。
Then he has to escape to the wilderness and be trained by God.
你看到他的改变，圣经怎么说他？
Let's see what the Bible say
民
about
数
his
记
change.
12章第3节这么说：
Numbers 12:3.
摩西为人极其谦和，
Now the man Moses was very humble,
胜过世上的众人。
more than all men who were on the
这
face
就
of
是
earth.
生命的改变。
That is a changed
我们
life.
是否愿意像摩西一样摆在神的手中，让他改变我们的生命？
Do you want to be like Moses, being placed in God's hand to be
我
changed?
们也看到保罗的经验，这位自称是逼迫基督徒的那一位，
We can also look at Paul's life, the one who persecute Christians.
看所有的基督徒成为眼中钉。
He hates all Christians.
当他在大马色的路上，上帝的荣光照到他的时候，
But when he was on the road of Damascus, Jesus' light shined on
他说：“主
him.
啊，你是谁？”
He said, "Lord, who are you?"
那位主说：“我就是你逼迫的那一位。”
I am the Jesus whom you persecute.
保罗的生命从此改变。
From then, his life was changed.
这些人都愿意把自己带到耶稣基督的十字架面前，学习耶稣基督的榜样。
These two brought their lives to the cross and allowed Jesus to change them.
第3点，我看到的麦子要得到荣耀，生命的侍奉。
The third point I was thinking was wheat has to be glorified. That is the sacrifice of life.
生命，我们是要为神而服侍的。
Our lives need to be given to God to be of service.
你看到第26节的地方，第12章26节，约翰福音。
John 12:26.
若有人服侍我，就当跟从我。
If anyone serves me, let him follow me.
耶稣基督他提出的一个条件，当我们要服侍他，必须要跟随他。
This is a challenge he has given us. If we want to serve him, we have to follow him.
最后他说：“我在哪里，服侍我的人也在哪里。”
And where I am, there my servant will be
上帝
also.
的工作不是只有几位在那边工作，我们看到每一个人都有服侍的能力，每一个人都有服侍的机会。
God's service is not only exclusive for a few, but every single one of us.
不一定你讲到，但是神把你摆在不同教会的岗位里面，包括在厨房，包括排凳子等等，我们都可以为神来服侍。
You may not be preaching, but God may put you in the kitchen, or He may want you to be arranging some chairs.
当我看到几位医生在搬凳子的时候，有时候哇哦，这些医生怎么会做这些事情呢？
Sometimes I see some doctors arranging chairs for our fellowship. I'm very impressed.
或者是看到一些年轻人在那边服侍的时候，哇哦，这些年轻人那么甘心情愿，他们宁可出去回去读书，但是愿意协助教会的工作。
When I see the young people giving out their time to serve, I'm very impressed. I think they probably would like to go home and study, but they stay back and serve.
那些年长的，虽然他们做不了太多的事情，站在那里笑一笑都值得，因为他们80、90岁、100岁，可以给我们很多的生命的鼓励。
Those elderly, sometimes even just their smile and their encouragement really give us a lot of strength.
当我们看到神给我们机会，不单单在落在地里面成长之后，成为一个服侍的器皿。
God gave us opportunity so that when we are buried, we can be a vessel of service.
在我结束的时候，我要用尼托生弟兄所说的一句话。
When I close, I want to quote you a quote from Watchman Nee.
你若不压橄榄成渣，它就不能成油。
Olives that have known no pressure, no oil can bestow.
橄榄必须要用压力把它压才会出油。
You have to press olives hard in order to get the oil.
你若不把葡萄投入酒渣里面，它就不能变成酒。
If the grapes escape the wine press, wine can never flow.
我加上一句：你若不把麦子磨成糠秕，它就不能成为面粉。
I add this myself. If a grain of wheat is not rid of the chaff, it cannot be edible
当我们
flour.
把麦子磨的时候，糠秕拿掉，成为面粉的时候，成为可以祝福人的东西。
When we grind wheat and the chaff was taken away, then it can be fine flours to fill our stomachs.
一粒麦子不能让人吃饱，
One grain of seed will not fill you up.
一粒麦子也不能当装饰品。
It cannot even decorate
唯
you.
有落在地里面，长出许多籽粒，把它磨成粉之后，才可以造就更多的人。
The only way for it to be useful is to bury it and let it die so that it can produce much grain, and then it can be processed to become flour and fill people's stomachs.
当麦子我们看到它一粒的时候，是一个个体。
We can see one grain of wheat is by itself is one unit.
唯一的方法就是把它磨成粉以后，联合在一起，没有自我啦。
But when you grind those wheat together, they all mix up together, many grain of wheat,
然后我们把它做成面包。
and it can become
当我
bread.
们称面包的时候，不是说这是某某小麦，哪一粒小麦。
When you eat a piece of bread, you cannot say that this part is from that grain of wheat.
他们已经联合在一起了。
They already stuck together.
今天在教会里面，我们也应该这样说：我们不再是自己，不再是自我了。
We also should say that in a church. You cannot say I am or myself.
当耶稣基督用我们的时候，我们可以联合在一起，成为一个教会，为神而见证。
But we should be together as a body so that God can use us.
另外有一个牧师这么说，马凯在台湾有个很出名的一个医生，马凯牧师这么样说，
And 医生啊。
也是医生。
Dr. Mackay said this. He's a famous doctor in Taiwan.
他说：“宁愿烧尽，不愿朽掉。”
He said, I'd rather be burned up and I don't want to be rotten.
你知道一根木头不用来做起火软身的，过不久怎么样？会不会腐烂掉？
If you don't burn up a piece of wood for heat, what will happen? Very soon it will be rotten.
很快就在烂掉，在院子里面烂掉。但是我们把它拿起来起火的时候，每一个人可以得到温暖。
It will be rotten if you put it in the backyard, but if you set it on fire, it will give warmth.
亲爱的弟兄姐妹，你有没有想到， 今天我们可以坐在这个当中，也是别人所结出来的果子。
Brothers and sisters, have you thought of this? We are here today and we are actually grain produced from someone else's wheat.
你怎么来的啊？有人带你认识耶稣基督。
How do you come to know Christ? Did someone bring
我
you?
怎么来的？因为父母亲把宗教的信仰传递给我。
What about me? My parents introduced Christ to me.
我的父母亲是其他人把福音传给了他。我的父母是其他人，因为福音传给了他，他才有信仰。
And my parents know Christ because someone else brought Jesus to them.
你有没有想到，也愿意把这样的信仰传承给其他的人？
What about you? Have you thought of giving this good news to someone else?
最后，耶稣讲的这一句话，26节，
Lastly, Jesus said this,
给我们很大的安慰跟鼓励。
gave us a lot of encouragement.
若有人服侍我，我父必尊重他。
If anyone serves me, my Father will honor
我
him.
们喜欢人家尊重我们，对不对？
You want someone to honor you,
有谁
right?
不喜欢我们人家尊重的？
Anybody who doesn't want
没有，
someone
都
else
喜
to
欢人
honor
家
him?
看重他、尊重他。
No, everyone wants someone to honor them.
你可以看到最后的尊重是谁呢？是那位耶稣基督，为我们在十架定死的那位耶稣，特别的尊重我们。
The ultimate honor came from Jesus who died for us on the cross.
一粒麦子的精神是一种认识。
The spirit of a grain of seed, a grain of wheat, is the spirit of sacrifice,
认识自己的使命。
who understands its own mission.
24节告诉我们，我们每一个人要认识我们自己的每一个人的使命。
Verse 24 tells us that each one of us should know our mission.
第25节，他继续告诉我们说，一粒麦子的精神就是付出。
Verse 25, it tells us the spirit of a grain of wheat is to give.
付出到有一点点会痛的感觉。
Sometimes when we give, it hurts.
有没有觉得有这样的经验呢？
Have you had
施舍
that?
给人的时候，有一点心疼。
Sometimes when you give, it hurts you a little bit.
我们愿意效学耶稣基督的榜样，他是全部的付出。
Do we want to follow Christ's example? He gave everything to us.
一粒麦子的精神在26节是一种跟随。
The spirit of a grain of wheat is to
我
follow,
们跟随耶稣基督的榜样，
following Christ's example.
不但要付出，要认识，我们最后要跟随耶稣。
Not just to understand, not just to give, but to follow Christ.
最后的挑战，两个挑战。
Lastly, I want to give you two challenges.
请问你在基督的生命有没有什么壳把你困住了，
In your life, is there any chaff that holds you back
以至于你长不出来？
so that your life cannot be unleashed?
基督徒的生命可能10年、20年、30年都没有长进。
A Christian life may not sometimes a Christian life do not grow for 20, 30 years.
让我们思考这个困住我们的外壳，让我们不能接受耶稣的原因在什么地方？
Let us think about what chaff held us down and so that we cannot grow.
有什么办法可以让我们这个壳可以打破，让耶稣进入我们的心？
How can we let God break this chaff so that we can grow?
第二个挑战，请问你信主多年了，你为耶稣结了多少果子？
A second challenge, let me ask you, how long have you known Jesus and how many fruits have you bear?
或者是说我信主多年还结不出果子？
Or if you say, I've known Christ for years and I have not bear one
你
fruit.
是否愿意让耶稣帮助你，让我们落在地里面死了，被埋葬，然后长出许多的子粒出来？
Are you willing to let Jesus bury you so that you can die and grow more abundantly?
让耶稣今天他的圣灵能够改变我们的心，
May the Holy Spirit change our lives
让我们每一天为神结出美好的果子。
so that every day we can produce much grain.